Oh, we have activity.
Is this the activity frequency?
Bozo Control is transmitting.
Well, if that's the case, then we should play the jingle song. I think I'll do that.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
The Old Tube Radio Network. Boy, that kind of crept up on me. I was walking down the hall, and then they were pointing to the air chair, and then the red light came on, and here I am. I didn't give it a chance to check out the camera. Kind of looks like we're in 1950s kinescope mode or something. So it's still sunny outside. Why didn't we open the blinds? Anyway, the Old Tube Radio Network, real radio is glowing in the dark. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit in the air chair of OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network. I think we are set up. Looks like we're transmitting. There's no red lights on. Our purpose here is to promote the use and distribute information about 11-meter Class D citizen band radios. The microphone is falling off. Notice I do not have the RCA microphonium tonight. It is back in its rightful spot at the radio station. Let me adjust this one. Should have done this before we started, so that it is pointing towards my mouth. Okay, I think that'll work. Anyways, you can hear if you're listening to the pre-net. Skip is in, but it's sort of I don't know, a little bit of Hawaii and Arkansas or something. It's kind of strange. Somebody said they were listening to sporadic and tropoducting last night. Things happening in the morning, so perhaps if you are listening from afar, tune us in at channel 11, 27085, and see if perhaps you can tune us in and make a contact. You don't have to be on any list or know a secret handshake to do that. And after the roll call, of course, we will do the thing we do best, and that is talk to you on your tube radios. So with that said, I'm looking for early check-ins here, OTR listening.
24 checking in. 37.
All right, we've got 24. I got to bring up my list and go to the list spot, which I think is something like that, and clear the rigs. There's all sorts of things that one has to do to make it work here. And let me try it with Joe here. 24. Yeah, it's working. Who was the? Thank you, Joseph. Who was the other station?
37.
All right, we've got SWL 37. I hear you, Chris, and we've also got 61 way out there. Over.
Thank you, Dennis.
Breaker.
All right, thank you, Chris, and thank you, Copenhagen, and the breaker. Go ahead.
Yeah, 53 checking in there, Dennis.
53 is checking in. Yes, it seemed like it was a little bit cooler today, but that was just me because I didn't go outside a lot. So thank you for checking in.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Evening time to you, Bob. Dennis, get 650, please.
Will do on the 650 over.
Thank you, sir.
Say good evening, brother. I don't know if you hear me.
Okay, Bob, we got you.
Yeah, boss.
Make some camera adjustments here. I know it's a radio thing, and we're adjusting the camera. Adjusting the camera. You can hear Skip is in. Yeah, it's all. Somebody was playing with the controls, I think. Anyone else for an oily check-in? Over. Okay, we'll start the roll call. We are on Echo Link. Link is up. Also, We've got the cross band and various other things. Old Radio Night. We'll check in to the replay. It is concluded, but the Buddy Bass was back up and running skip as usual. I think that's becoming the go-to radio for Old Radio Night, which is a good thing. At the top of the list, 00. Hello. Am I supposed to proxy in 00 tonight?
No, I am here. Please check me in as number 20, 00, and also do 29 and 54. And I'll be back later.
I've heard that before. You'll be back. Well, good deal. We will be right here when you get back. Over.
Okay. I'm going to go get something to eat, and then I'll be back later.
Okay. Your eagle sounds like an Irish penny whistle. All right, thanks. Okay, I have to check some control here for a second. Hold on. One of these I need. I have a feedback problem. All right, we need that one. All right, I need those, so maybe I'm okay. There are various feed-throughs in the audio board that can be good and bad, and I can't really tell by those now, so. Okay, headphone hard, yeah, there's too many. All you need is one microphone and one radio. Remember that. After that, it turns into a giant rabbit hole when you have too many sources. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glow in the Dark, 00 checked in. Thank you, Harvey. SWL number 1 checked in. Mr. OBP is out there listening tonight. He is here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, that's right, Kevin. Wherever you go, there you are. Say hello to Mr. OBP on the chat. He's one of the guys that came up with the idea to do this a long time ago, and it's still working. We haven't quite broken it yet. SWL3, got a check-in for Rob over to SWL5. I didn't get a chance to, during the live event of Old Radio Night, go over there and stop by. So should be all the faves here, maybe making it over to the Old Radio Night, looking for SWL5. I see Neck, Ontario CB Club. Who else is out there? Wednesday and Thursday night after 9 p.m. short skip into San Francisco and north to Redding. You know, somebody else said that too, that we were getting sort of the tropo ducting short e-skip. So we'll see if it happens. If not, we'll sign off and open the frequency, open the channel here so that people can get in and maybe do some stuff. I see you, Richard. I'll go ahead and get you checked in now. I don't think you need an early check-in, but since you are there, Beagleman 888 in northwest Alabama. That is some of the skip that I was hearing earlier. Was actually out in Alabama. Rob was listening in from Texas, and I don't think he was hearing anything from the West Coast. I want to talk to him about his loop piece making for 11 meters. Sounds interesting. 91, I see a Felix. Let me get you checked in before you have to scaddle off there. Directed net, roll calls, what we're doing. Let's see, 5 is in SWL7. Van Man, I see it. We'll get you checked in out of Kentucky. Who's listening tonight? Up in the balcony, Breton, Illinois, Chaplin, Minnesota, Angola, New York, Portland, Oregon. Up in Portland tonight. That's always a good hop when the sun goes down from here to Portland area on 40 meters. Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Hello, Fresno, Los Angeles, Williamsville, Williamson, West Virginia, Visalia. Hello, Visalia, just down the road here and in the special chair, Centerville, Virginia. Oh, man. All right. Well, do whatever the doctor says. Take it easy. And, yeah, I can see why that would knock you out for sure. But the fact that you're up and running is a good sign that things are going in the right direction. I'm putting a proxy or a check-in for SWL7. So thanks for joining us. And there is Ed. All right, 7 is in. That's good. Over to... let's go out to Sangertown, SWL9, Dirt Dog 982.
How about it? This is Dirt Dog 982 checking in.
Mr. Dirt Dog 982 sounding good. I hope you are staying cool in front of that hot radio. You are sounding good at the Old Tube Radio Network, and thanks for checking in. Over.
All right, thanks, Dennis, and you stay cool too.
I'm trying. They what do they make for me? Something in this cup that I can't tell what it's. It's some type of tea or something. It's not bad. I am not going to complain. So likewise, thanks for checking in. Hello to Headphone Harvey. Did I say hello to Ontario? Yes, I did. Nick at the Ontario CB Radio Club. Who else is in there? Aqua Botany TV. Is that true? Are we? Because we're kind of doing TV along with radio here tonight. SWL 10. I'm not sure what that was all about, but Skipland. SWL 10 and 30. I'm waiting for the Dolphins to jump. Actually, I'm waiting for Dwayne to just kind of pop in on the Browning or the Tram or the Robin and one of the radios and just say hello, radio. Hello, Warren. Saying hello, radio to everybody at the Old Tube Radio Network. Frank D, what's going on? It's always homemade pizza night on Saturdays over there. We should be doing a live remote from where you are. Homemade pizza night in Yellow Springs, Ohio. So we'll have to work on that. I'll proxy in at 10 and 30. I know they will be there. Not needing a proxy, 11 and 12. Of course, that's Mr. Cornbread and Dapper Dan. I actually don't feel too undapper today, even though when it gets hot, it's hard to be dapper. But they turned on. It feels good in here, like we've got air conditioning, like we're big time. So whatever it is, it's working and it feels good. So 11 and 12 are checking in and checked in. SWL 13. I thought I heard Mikey on the crossband here. 13, I heard you. Now we'll get you checked in. KB6GFD, over. Yeah, he was in earlier. He's kind of right in my squelch position. Rob says the RCA got repoed. Well, they were doing some photo shoots, and they kind of wanted it back. So, all right. I could have picked it up tonight, but I got busy. So I had to rewire all this, and it's in a different setting, and it probably doesn't sound right. That's the bad thing about moving stuff around and taking things out. You never know. You never know what setting it's supposed to be on. Let's go back out to Sangertown for SWL 14. Hello, Sean.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. SWL 14 checking in.
Sounding good in the neighborhood here, and if you're going to be radioactive later, we've got some spot or two for you on the list. Over.
Yeah, I've got them laid out, ready to go, boy, but it is noisy out here this evening.
Yeah, the 5 or 6 o'clock, it wasn't too bad, and then the skip kind of rolled in, specifically from various places, so we'll see what happens when the sun goes down when it does. Over.
Yeah, roger that. We'll catch you later.
Trying to keep everything going here. I see 31. Let me get you guys in before you scroll completely off my screen. Robert and Teresa out there in Hendersonville. I was looking at it was a Frank Lloyd Wright house, the only one in Tennessee. Showed up on my my radar. The only one in Tennessee for sale, and somebody already bought it. And it was not cheap, let me tell you. But really nice place. In Chattanooga is where it was. Chattanooga on a hill overlooking the city. A great place for you to be able to afford it. It looks like you could even put an antenna up somewhere if they'd let you do that. If they would let you do that. 14 is in out of Sangertown. SWL 15. I am checking to see. It's still a little early out in over in Copenhagen, where it's Sunday morning at about 4 or 5 o'clock. So we'll keep an eye out and an ear out for Mr. Hans, Alpha 173. Aquabotany says he's just a radio dude learning. Well, we sort of all are, and the one thing to learn is do not add pictures to radio. Then it gets way more complicated. From the Bob and Steve show, Steve is checking in. And yeah, where is it? The big red limo. What was it doing this week? There was something going on, a couple of things, for summer school. There was something going on. Here it is. Let me pop it up on the screen. I think it should go right there. Or not. You gotta click on the right button and stuff may show up or not. All right. Well, maybe it's broken. Oh, there it is. All right. Oh, there it is. That's the. I was putting an extended picture of that, and that's why it doesn't work. You can't zoom in on that because you had to zoom out to pick it up. Oh, I know. It was over at one of these tire places, and they were all the people were out. They wanted to take pictures in front of the big red limo because they were they were replacing the tires or getting the tires checked, and that took a while. But everybody was having a good time signing autographs and taking pictures in front of the big red limo. Thanks to Bob and Steve. Bob and the limo service, first class. Wherever he went. So we're lucky to have him latch onto the old Tube Radio Network and make sure that we are seen. Anyway, thanks, Steve, for jumping in to the air chair over there. The old Tube Radio Network, real radio's glowing in the dark. SWL 16 right here, right now. Thank you for the tea and whatever air conditioning is working. I don't want to see the bill. But at this point, I don't care if it's working well. I think we're good to go. Is someone calling OTR? Here's OTR. We're streaming at oldtuberadio.net. Oldtuberadio.net's got the stream. Channel 11 right here has got the audio. And thank you, Charlie. Got you checked in. Let's go to SWL 17. Oops, who was that? Who's that listening to OTR from afar? Over. Mr. KDA, SWL 18 with a check-in. Over on Facebook. SWL 19 on the cue cards. Hello, hello, Chet.
Kilowatt down here in North Carolina trying to get in there, Bray.
And a Kilowatt man in North Carolina. So, gosh, maybe they're hearing us. Maybe JT, who is relaxing and got the radio on. Make sure it's on Channel 11. They might hear us jumping in there tonight.
I know it's so crazy, Paul, but I'm going to drag him on off there and let you get after it.
And Rob, get twist that loop. I don't know how you have to point it to get to California, but you're probably here in Hawaii, but not California. On the second hop. Thanks, Chet, for checking in. Also, SWL 20, the guy that checked in is 00. It's probably not at the radio, but Harvey, if you are listening, we do have you checked in yet again. And Ken Carlock says, hit the thumbs up button. I don't even know what that is. There's a thumbs on the nose button. That's the one I usually check. I think they take points off. They take points off when somebody checks that one, but that's okay. JT from the Wasama Swamps in South Carolina. I had the video queued up. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, we'll get some audio.
All right, 165, we got Schoolboy warming up, and another guy there testing out the backside of his D104. He's talking into the backside of his D104. Hey, 165, I'm going to put it on the quiet side. 165 in the Mobile, 21 in the Kakalaki with the choke chain. I got the choke chain.
You give him a radio. You give him a plate modulated radio.
North Carolina, and I'm gone.
And he's shooting skip with that on the air light. Boy, it was big time over an old radio night tonight. So drink your tea or whatever it is. You got to get rid of the cold there, Mr. JT, and we will look for you next week. But I love that radio, and I can tell you do too. Old radio night from the Wasama Swamps, the world's biggest ground rod. Be there or be in the mud.
You know, names ain't gonna call no handle, but they talk about K-Phase and some of them
Someday I'll have a real radio like that. I can put up on the stream. SWL22. Not hearing Skip from Alaska. SWL23. Mitch has been posting some good stuff. Good radio-related things. I think Espresso Trucking Company is on hiatus for the summer, although I think we've got an 8-track. I don't know. We'll see. If it's not busy, maybe we'll jump in with an 8-track play at the end of the program tonight.
Yeah, it ain't like shooting a beam there, you know. That's doubling your penetration.
Now, this is the double your penetration frequency. SWL24 Joseph checked in early. And Rosie, out there in Emu Park in Queensland, thanks for joining and listening in. The band should be open your way. In fact, let me see what's on the chart here. There it is. Yeah, see, that's why we're hearing where we're hearing. None of that. Normally, it's up around Washington and Vancouver. Look where the DX stuff is. It's all over on the Midwest and to the east. And I do see that Hawaii is there. So you never know. Just keep listening in. Stranger things have occurred. Back to direct-to-net roll call. Let's go to SWL 25. Uh, 25, I hear you fine. No problem. We've got you checked in 25 through the skip, and it's sounding good over.
Roger. Thank you.
Let's go to page 2, and I will fall off my proverbial radio air chair if Dwayne is in the studio tonight, because it's hot. SWL 27. I'm going to give him a proxy. You can only do so much when it's 100 degrees around these parts. If you're joining us tonight and passing through the green room, I always get the recipe, or the menu, I should say. I get the current menu from Gary, Sacramento. He seems to know the stuff. Drinks and nacho bar in the green room. What is the nacho bar? I don't even know what that is. We have plenty coming up. Well, it's not like The Nacho Bar, I think, doesn't have to close at 2 a.m. It can stay open. It can stay open all night as long as you have plenty of napkins. It's a good thing. And thank you, Gary. We've got a proxy check-in for Mr. Loner, SWL29. We're going to have a proxy in for 30, although I know they're going to be in here at some point. They're putting on the running shoes. Make sure you bring the walkie-talkie along and then run up to the hill. Maybe you'll be able to... You'll be able to hear us, but yeah, it's coming in. They don't even know they're talking. Skip. SWL31, Robert and Teresa in moments ago. SWL32, Rob is listening in, and I'm curious about the loop. And for 11 meters, what kind of size are you talking about? Is it like a loop in a loop? There's a W6 LVP. I think that's the one I see all the time, and the one that is popular for the guys on the Kiwi SDRs. But they're good for low noise. Brings the noise floor down. So interesting to see what's going on with that.
Well, they probably would get started if they could hear.
I did a little bit early on the day, some DX stuff, and it wasn't that good. And even on 20 meters, all the SDR haunts out of Utah and where's the other one? Montana, they were weak with my signal. Okay, I do have a photo. I will check my email for a photo of the loop. And what is it? VARA? That was something new to me, so I haven't really dived into that yet because I'm afraid. be very afraid of trying to figure out yet another mode, another thing that's going to require a wire or two. Anyway, sounds like you're having fun except for the heat and enjoying retirement, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that same thing. SWL33, guess who? That is me, Bozo Control, the honking proboscis, and anybody else that wanders through that would like to get an X in the square. Jimmy up in near Chicago. Railroader, Captain Chaos, and the group checking in and looking good tonight. Yeah, Nick, that's the one I see on a lot of the SDRs, the W6 LVP. And the guy's name, he's on 40 meters a lot. I think he's here in California. Does a lot of testing. Larry, I guess, is that his name? I don't remember, but that is a popular one. SWL 35 up in really warm Cheyenne, Wyoming, up in the heat dome. Hello, Mr. Bill, and hope you're staying cool. Hope you have some air conditioning up in the Red Monkey Communications trailer. You are going to need it for a couple of days. Yeah, it's build your own nachos. I think it's one of those things, if you bring a tube, it doesn't have to be, bring a tube and grab a plate of nachos. It's a trade-out tonight. SWL 36, UDX 111, that's Ken. He is listening out there somewhere, and he's checking in right there. Thank you, Ken. I've got the X in the square. Looking at all my meters and wires and numbers, I think that's kind of working. I got to see, whoa. Trying not to overheat stuff. It's still kind of warm in here. So that we can drop another notch. We might have to do that. SWL 37. Chris is probably doing the movie thing. He checked in earlier. I've got the X in the square, Chris. Beautiful Byron up the road and around the corner. Sam, I'm getting you checked in. SWL 39. Do Nixie tubes qualify? You get extra. You get a plate to take home if you bring in the Nixie tubes. SWL 40. Larry was on earlier. He was complaining of having some type of helicopter weird static noise. So being the mud duck that I am, somebody said, put your S meter so we see something. Let's go to the control point. All right, at least it shows up. That's the power. We'll work on the power meter because that's the only thing that'll work. So hello, 40. Got you checked in. SWL 41 right there, checking in from Orange County, Hudson Valley, the Orange County REACT. Good days. REACT did a lot of good stuff back in the day. You could really count on jumping in on Channel 9 wherever you were at. And, of course, the sort of trucker network that went along with that. So I don't know. It's good to know that there's still some REACTs out there reacting. Let's go over to shortwave listener 42.
42 and the Radio Lifer crew, all present and accounted for.
All right, 42 has got the accents. We're in sounding good, and we're waiting for the sun to go down and see what happens with the ducting up and down the valley here tonight. Thanks for checking in. SWL 43. There was not a Ditch Banks sideband net last night. I think it's going to be next Friday. Ron is still away from the air chair. So I don't know what the conditions were like out that way. But Ray, 44, 360, I'm going to get you checked in because you're probably listening around the corner. And Bill, I see you. Let me get you now before you scroll off the screen. Be advised that you are in the skip zone tonight. So if the band opens up, we get a little bit of sporadic and tropo ducting, you might actually hear us beaconing through on channel 11 up there in Canby. But good to have you right here, right now. SWL 45. I'll get Paul and Kelly checked in from up in North Fork. So in Wisconsin, SWL 46. And who's that up in Calgary? Bert? Hello, radio. I'll have to bring up one of the... Alberta's usually a good shot on the SDRs. SWL 47.
Good evening, sir. From the Radio Lounge, this is SWL 47, where we're still, we still got a hankering for a nice steaming plate of nice nachos. But I think it's a little too late to dive into something like that. Anyways, 47.
Sounding good. Good thing, and apparently there's plenty. I just nibble the corners off the chips, so there's plenty, and then I put them back in. So if you see a rounded one, it's like, oh yeah, that's the one Dennis was working on. Sounding good. Oh, I'm going to. I think I have your email. I'm going to send you a file of a program that we did on Wednesday, a memorial program. You know what that's about. But anyway, I've got it here, and I'm going to ship that off to you here after the net sometime because I just got the MP3 of it. Hopefully you can play it.
You know, that's great. I kind of thought and hoped that you would have something like that to offer. Yeah, that's much appreciated, sir. Thank you.
Okay, not a problem. You are sounding good. Back out to the lounge or whatever it is that you might be doing. It is a beautiful evening, even if we are in Fresno. Over to SWL 48. I'll get Sam checked in, probably from Facebook. Let's go to SWL 49.
Let's rock it, Mr. 49.
I can do that. Brian, Smitty, and Sweet Country Mama 49 will get the...
Thank you, Dennis.
Get the item of interest. Bill, Curtis had the tostadas earlier. That's another thing I don't... I like tacos. I'm real plain, so tostada's probably good. It's just go out there, grab whatever you want. There's plenty of stuff. That's what the Costco card is for. That's what the big red limo does. It goes out and grabs all that food. that's why we always have so much. Hello, Private Thor on 724. Listen in, beaconing across the airways. Maybe we are here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to Battle Creek, Michigan, SWL 50. And do I see 15? Do I see Hans up there? I think I do. Alpha 173. I thought I missed you earlier, but I think you just stopped by. Let's put 15 on the list. Just got home. Let's see. Hope. Home. Oh, you have a good night? Yeah. On the DX, it's out there. On the AM and SSB, we have occasionally things are just popping in tonight on the DX window, so we're hoping might get a few radios out of that. Always nice when someone pops by. Thank you, Gerald, for checking in. Let's go to SWL 51.
SWL 51 checking in.
51 checking in and sounding good. I guess hope you can hear me through all the noise out there. Over.
I don't have too much noise. I got about an S3 unit noise, but you're making it over here about S7, S8.
Okay. Yeah, I just got a little bit of static going on, and I've got the, let me unkey here. Yeah, I've got the RF gain set so that it makes an S3 and gets rid of some of the static noise, but you're way above that, sounding good. So I'll put the RF gain back to an S3 level. Let's go to SWL 52. Blood Note says 21SC has been showing some really bad old movies. Those are the best kind. I've been in a couple of those bad old movies. And you know what? When you watch them, they don't get any better. They do get worse, and they get older. SWL 53. I saw Mr. Belair. I got an X in the square for you. Trying to find page 3. SWL 54. We've got a proxy for Larry. SWL 55. SWL 56.
Just for kicks, Dennis.
Yeah, I haven't had enough kicks today, so a few more is a good thing here on the Old Tube Radio Network. X and the square and sounding good. Over.
Thank you.
All right, Hans is on his way out the door. Thanks for jumping in. I know when you're in a hurry, taking a tour into the radio room and firing stuff up is good. Thank you. Hope you have a great rest of the morning, but always thanks for joining us here in Central California, where it's yesterday, or still yesterday, on the Old Tube Radio Network. Go have a good time. Bela Lugosi. You think he had a CB radio? When did he pass? Was it after 1959? He could have had a CB radio. SWL 57. Out in central Kentucky. Oh, you know what? I've got to do something. I have to update the stream, so hold on a second. I did that last week, and I forgot to do that. So if you're on the Tube Radio page, you're not seeing anything. And why is that? It's because one of the things I have to do is change the video here, so hang on. So many things to do, and I don't do them. All right, so that should be the proper video. If you're at oldtuberadio.net, perfect. All right, if you click on that, that will give you the live video. It will also show the live chat right next to the glowing tube. So apologies for that. Someday I'll learn this. Like if I do this another 40 years, I'll remember how to work this stuff. Direct net roll call, page 3. We are looking for SWL 58. And we are kind of up to date. Rob, that's right. Plan 9 from outer space. So, you know what? I think that was before. We did a spoof of that a long time ago. I think that was before 1958. I forgot about that. And that's right. And he was during the filming. And so that's one of the classic things. During the scenes where he was no longer able to do that, they sort of had, you know, somebody walking around with their face covered to look like Bela Lugosi. You know, I think the same thing is going to happen here on the Old Tube Radio Network. You just come on and say, that kind of looks like Dennis. What happened to Dennis? We don't see him anymore. There'll be just somebody with they'll just see a suit. And they'll think it's Dennis. Let's go to SWL 59. That is Uncle Hairball. You know who you are, right? There's the X in the square. Thanks. I was waiting for the delay. Oh, he's got a bit of delay. And the guy's busy. Foxman, I'm surprised you are not taking a nap. He's been staying up late out there in Rockwood, Tennessee, with a lot of the live streams and skipping all sorts of stuff going on. Is it raining? Humidity? 96? I don't know. But out there in Rockwood, well, what's going on? Are you guys? Are you still in the skip? I had the. Where is it? I'm going to jump over to the. There it is. There's the DX map. It's showing there's stuff in your area there. Notice what's happening. We are getting a little bit of openings up in Vancouver, Alberta. So stand by for the E-skip coming that way. Notice we got a nice little spot coming into San Diego, so we could have some good stuff coming up. It's drizzle. All right. Drizzle on the antenna is not a bad thing, I think. So Uncle Hairball's in. Let's go to SWL 60, Joe.
Hey, Dennis. Evening time to all. SWL 60, checking in.
60 checking in and sounding good doing it. We've got an X in the square for you. Over.
Thank you, Dennis.
Making sure the list is up to date. SWL 61 Dino checked in at the top of the net. SWL 62. Squirrel Chronicle. And I don't have a QTH, but I think it's out in Ohio or something. But anyway, let me know. And 356 BYU. Man, let me get you checked in before you fade out, before your signal fades away. SWL 75. It's been a long time since I've been able to put in a square for you there. So howdy, and welcome back to the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 62. Let me get Squirrel checked in or proxied in. SWL 63. Shortwave listener 64. SWL 65. SWL 66. And 67, Bill, who's maybe listening in from Canby, Oregon, checked in early, but I'm putting the X in the square again. I'll have to watch that. 20 dB. I know. You get the good skip, and it's like a 20 dB signal. That is a mobile radio 2 miles, a mile away from your house, and you're thousands of miles away, and you're coming in at 20. Ain't propagation great? It just kind of goes up and sits there and drops off, just like you were 2 miles away. Fun stuff. And that happens not only on 11 meters, but a lot of places. So if you're trying to upgrade or get your ham license when the sunspot cycle starts to drop, and we're on the other side of 25 now, in a couple of years, so you'll be able to go elsewhere and maybe find some skip. Who knows? SWL 67. Bill, you're in. SWL 68. Kenny. Oops. Who was that? Over? All right, thought I missed somebody. SWL 69. Kenny checked in from Oklahoma earlier. Said hello to all the stations out there.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR. I'm on your page. Go ahead, sir.
Can I get a late check-in, please, Dennis?
Yeah, we're moving up to 55, and we're putting we'll call it semi-late. A half-baked late check-in. We got you over.
Thank you.
Kenny, we got out of Tulsa 69. Let's go over to SWL 70. SWL 71. Looking on the list. Hello to, who's joined us? Where, Shoals, South Carolina. Hello to you. At the top of the page, Copenhagen's in there. I don't know, how did you get up to the top of the page? You've got the secret key to do that. Lake Elsinore, Squamish is in. All looking good. Let me get Stan checked in, SWL 71. SWL 72. SWL 73. Somebody said give John a proxy. He might jump in on the crossband. It's up. Brother Ron, hello, Mellow Jello Radio. They call it Mellow Jello, quite rightly. Wonder if Donovan ever had a CB. SWL 74's got a proxy. Over to SWL 75. Well, we got SWL 75. 356 BYU. I see the X there. SWL 76. What's going on in Johnson, Rhode Island? Oh, is that the brother Ron checking in? We'll get an 82. We miss you on Fridays, but I know you're having a good time. And 188, let me get you, Snow Beast, while you are on the screen and the delay is doing its thing. Thanks for jumping in the old Tube Radio Network. I'm losing my place. 75, we got SWL 76, where possible. Oh, and this guy, SWL 77.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and 77 old train wreck. Boy, I tell you, last night the DX was awesome. Between 11:30 and 2:30 in the morning. Boy, that tropospheric ducting and them short hops, boy, they were all over the place. It was a lot of fun. Hope everybody's having a good evening, and glad to be here and checking in.
All right, we're glad you are joining us here on the old Tube Radio Network, X in the Square, and good DX, and hopefully we'll have some likewise similar conditions tonight. You just never know. And Private Thor saying, yeah, I heard that train wreck out there, so yeah, bodacious. That's what happens when you actually have a good station. People will hear you. Headphone Harvey, I agree. Did you see that 40 dB over S9 signal? And he's not like around the corner either. That is some good AM audio. You can't beat that. SWL 78. Richard is in from Wild Wildemore. X in the square. I wasn't on HF much this week, so I don't think I heard you. I did do some AM early in the week. Let's go to SWL 79. I know I heard Mr. DC earlier.
And I'm out here, 79, checking in.
All right, and you're sounding good in my neighborhood.
Break OTR.
The break OTR, and this is indeed OTR. Go ahead.
Number 27, can he get a better late than never check-in?
Yeah, you can do that. In fact, I even commented that I was going to give you a double X check-in if you were actually out there, in this 100-degree weather, because that really takes some extra effort.
Well, it's only 96 out here now, so I guess I just get a single X.
Well, I had actually, someone proxied you in, so we'll put the real X. You are sounding good. Thank you for jumping into the Tube Radio air chair over there, and you are sounding good, and we've got you checked in over.
Roger. Thanks, Dennis.
As the Jingle Singers say, thanks for stopping by. We got 77, we got 78, we got 79. How about SWL 80? Can we do moonbounds? Can you do it on 27 megs? I don't know. Let's go to page 4. Maybe we could do some moonbounds up to Northern California, SWL 81.
Hey, Proxy 81 in. He's having trouble getting the whatever he needs to get loaded up there so he can check in. So he asked me to do it. So check in 81 from Paradise.
Up there, take Paradise and put up a parking lot, and they probably have a few. So yeah, I'll get Mr. DX 81 checked in, and if you're trying to grab us on oldtuberadio.net, good luck. You are actually in a zone. We get the ducting up there in Redding, Red Bluff, Shasta, Yuba City, Paradise might have some something running up the valley tonight. We'll see. Thank you, Harvey. SWL 82. We got Ron checked in from afar. I think look for Ron maybe next week on the Ditchbanks sideband at 27,365 at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on your favorite radio. Does anyone talk AMCB anymore? Well, I don't know. Like you say, just have a conversation on AM. I hear people do it occasionally. If you got a shortwave receiver, tune in. Here's where the AM is. The Boat Anchor AM, tune into 40 meters. That's 7.290, 7.295, 7.280, and see if you can listen in. And it doesn't matter where you are, because that's sort of a good frequency across the U.S. You will hear some of the big boat anchor radios talking AM. It's always fun to tune in on that. SWL 83 and JZ out there in Sylvania, Ohio. I know you are there. I will put the X in the square, get you checked in. And Bill is right. Usually on AM, you got to have that line of sight. That's why in 40 meters, typically you're going to hear the skip. Hear guys in California talking to California or talking to Oregon and Washington, or maybe from far out. Ghost talking. That's the best way. Then it doesn't matter if they answer you or not. Let's get checked in for Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. That's 84, 86, 87, and 88 respectively. And kind of in that order. Over to SWL 91. Felix came in earlier. If you're staying up late, Mr. Felix, we've got we're putting the X in the square again. Just because we can. Somebody asking what frequency is this on? And indeed, it is on a frequency. If you were to have your shortwave radio, or maybe something different, tuned to 27085, that is channel 11 on standard citizen band, but 27085 anywhere else. We're in the Central California, West Coast area. So right now, as you can hear, no skip coming through. If we go to the DX map, which I will do, there actually are some conditions. Look at that. We're still getting a stripe up there in Seattle, Vancouver. The Midwest East is still looking good. I don't hear Hawaii, even though it says it might be coming through on 10 meters. I think you have to be in the right spot at the right time. But that's where we are. The Old Tube Radio Network. We're also, of course, as you know, live at oldtuberadio.net. Let's go to SWL 92. Here's somebody trying to come through there. SWL 93. I saw 188. We got 188, so we'll get 93 in as well. We get STD out of Clovis. Let's go to SWL 95. And he's right there, out in Foreland. From Orlando, Florida. X in the square. I was listening to Dr. Mal about a week ago on the, is it Hole in the Wall Net? It's over on 7185 or something like that. He's got a good signal from Hollywood, Florida. I just can't get to him because my antenna's too low. Yeah, Foxman, you heard what 77 said. That was the good shot the other night from like 11:30 to 2 a.m. here, our time. So that would be your time a little bit later. So go ahead and start. Go ahead and start at your time, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. when we get off here, and get the ether, get the particles flowing so we can talk to you guys. 95 is in. Let's see if SWL 96 is around. We've got the Echo link ready to go. We'll check in with that just a little bit. .401 Solar, hello radio to you. Let's go to SWL 97. The gym out there in Boston. So this is, somebody said this is UHF. This is AM. We are, in fact, let me go. If you're watching the video, here's the meter. The REA meter, that's showing your AM signal. That's your positive peaks and the negative peaks, AM. You can see the carrier, the resting carrier if I don't talk. And when I do talk, you get up to 100% modulation. Let's make a tone. There you go. All right, that's fun stuff. Try doing that on sideband, won't you? The Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to SWL 98. Okay, and I think that's the Mini-Grass. They're coming up on their gray line. So we might be hearing something. And I have the video, if I can find it here, of 98. Here it is. With the video and the audio, you never know what is going to happen on the Central Valley Facebook page. Here we go. Who is that guy? He looks better on that picture.
Good evening, Dennis and the group. This is SWL 98 checking in. 7-3s, everyone.
And 73, thanks for checking in. And thanks for all the cool videos. Ron's this week. It reminded me of an episode that we had here at the Old Tube Radio Network with a little bit of flashing and sparking and fire, but that was crazy. So thanks, Tracy. Let's go to SWL 99. Radio Randy out in Cape Creek, Arizona. I'll get him proxied in. He's got a good station. If we were having Skip, we'd hear that. And John, you're getting the double hop. See, we get the first hop here on the West Coast, and then it comes to you guys. I've noticed that, because then you'll hear the guys, you'll hear a Hawaii talking to stations we can't hear in your area, because we're not getting the double hop. We're not getting the single hop. Okay, it is time for the Echo Link. So we will grab that and see what we can do. Hello, radio. Let's go to Tony, KD4BAO, KB6GFD, take a transmission, over. We are on the Echo Link and see if we can get Tony in there.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you as usual. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
All right, thanks, Tony. You are sounding good. We've got you checked in. Tony is our purveyor of the tubes on the air. He's about ready to get activated. We're going to fire them up, so thanks for that, 73. And we have a couple more. Let's take stand by, Harvey, headphone Harvey, but we're going to go to Albert here. KI6CBA. Hello, Al. KB6GFD. Take a transmission. Heading over to Al up in Sparks, Nevada. We're on the Echo Link.
KD4BAO from KI6CBA. Albert here. Hey, we're really looking forward to the radios tonight. It's hotter than heck up here in Reno. Pretty soon we'll have hot August nights, and I really enjoy those. We get to go from hotel to hotel on different nights and seeing the different cars that come in, and we're looking forward to that. Oh gosh, it's almost August, and so, but I'm looking forward to the radios tonight, and with that, I'm going to check out, and wish you all 73s and a happy snack as we get there. Okay, talk to you soon.
Sounding good. Happy. All right, where did my audio go? It's showing I got no audio and I have no. Oh, I turned my audio off. That's why you can't hear me. Anyway, have a good rest of your evening. Sounding good on the Echo Link. And thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network, KB6GFD. And we have one more to go. Out there in Two-Land, so it says. Let's see what's going on with Headphone Harvey tonight. N2 KDX KB6GFD, take a transmission, sir, over. Headphone Harvey is putting on the Echo Link headphones.
KB6GFD from N2 KDX. Good evening. Big night for me. Coming to you over the virtual ionosphere from New Jersey. Nice to be on the net with you, Dennis. Thanks for what you're doing. N2 KDX 73, clear.
Harvey, sounding good. Watch the replay. Your audio is better than mine coming through the Echo Link. You're modulating the REA meters to a full 125%. Looking good. Good to hear you. Don the headphones, and we'll be back to the net. 73 from KB6GFD. Thanks for joining us. All right, that does it for the Echo Link. I don't think we blew anything up. SWL 102 knows to step up to the microphonium after we get out of there, and there he are, checking in and saying hello to all the shortwave listeners tonight. Thank you, John, out there in Arkansas. Who else is next? SWL 103. Saw Joey in there earlier. Tango Romeo 21 X-Ray, South Carolina, is checking in over. Got to say over. How do I know when to speak if I don't hear the over? Someone asking, how much longer are we on? We'll be on another hour. And again, we are in Central California, so unless the skip happens, you're going to have to be close by with my Mud Duck station in Central California. You never know. Skip is doing good tonight, so listen in channel 1127-085. Otherwise, join us right here at oldtuberadio.net. Thank you, thank you, Joey, for checking in. Yeah, well, Harvey, headphone Harvey, sounded good on the audio. I had to actually turn my incoming down a little bit. Nice, good fidelity too. That's hard to do on Echo Link. Let's go to SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
All right, from out of the heat and all the busyness, good to hear you at the microphone in the air chair, and I put an X in the square. Over.
Thank you, Dennis. You're sounding great tonight, and it's good to be back on the radio.
It's good to have you back. Thanks for joining us in 73. And Brother Ron says, I like the RCA mic better. Don't you know it? I don't know. My lease ran out, but we'll work on that. Then I had to change everything for this, so it's probably got issues. I was trying to get this hooked up back to the old ways, and I wasn't good at it, but we'll see what happens. Okay, Mr. Crawdad in SWL 110. SWL 111, Robert checked in earlier. I wonder how his net, how the 75-meter net went tonight. I hope better than last week. SWL 113. Over to, where are we going? Oh, Wayne, SWL 114.
114, checking in.
All right, I had a momentary lapse. I was trying to figure what comes after 113. Oh, yeah. It's the 114. You are sounding good as always, and we've got you checked in. Over.
All righty, Dennis. Thank you for the check-in.
So, Rick Shaw in SWL 128. I saw John in earlier out there in Fairfax, Virginia. So if you're watching, listening, John, we've got you checked in now. See, everybody new has joined in. And directed net roll call. Radio's coming up. Don't go away. Coming up shortly. SWL 131. SWL 135. I'm checking my notes. I guess we have a proxy for Mr. Cliff. SWL 145. Tony. And Tony is back. He left some questions, so we'll go to the questions before we jump out here for the tubes in just a little bit. I think at least one of them made sense. SWL 147. Neil in Fayetteville checked in earlier. Yes, he did. Oops. I'm going to break this microphone. On my chat list somewhere. I do that after the net. When I get a little chance, I'll go back and look at the chat and say, oh, where? You were there? Okay. Well, make sure you get checked in. You guys are probably having some skip. We are having, we're not having a heat dome yet, but that's coming. We're going to be close to like 108 or something next week, I think. So we're enjoying 97 while we can get it. I'm telling Neil that because he knows what the weather's like around here in the summer. Question, is this on SSB? This is on, I would be remiss if I said it wasn't. Actually, what it is, and we'll go back to the REA meter, we are on upper sideband and lower sideband at the same time because we are on AM. So we have inserted a carrier between the two sidebands. So we are a double sideband, not suppressed carrier. So yeah, that's a very roundabout way of saying indeed we are on AM. But if all you have is a sideband receiver, pick your favorite sideband, LSB or USB, and you'll still hear us. Isn't it great how that works? Getting rain up there, huh? Okay. Is it that rain where it's 90 degrees and raining? That's sometimes not too fun. Let's go over to Neil is in. Bobby 188, Snow Beast. If I get my thing to work here. Checked in earlier, so Snow Beast, we got you. Let's go over to up at Coursegold, SWL 195. All right, 195, the Starliner up there. Hope you're having a great evening. We are doing that down here in the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for joining in. And thanks for that. Yes, you can hear us with a regular AMCB tuned to channel 11. That is actually the best way to hear us, or hear the net going on your AM. So if you got AM, you are in. You are good to go. Let's go over to 223. Robert out there north of town. Stopped by, checked in earlier, and I got to get a video of the two radios. During the auction, all of the radios that they auction off have been refurbed. That is, they go through and they might not do 100%, perfect, but typically they all have the capacitors changed, the tuning cords and dials work. The plugs are redone. In fact, the plug is at the 3-prong plug with a fuse on it on the radios I got, and then they add some type of Bluetooth thing. So the prices are premium, and the two that I got, actually, I was the only one bidding on them. So it was basically the reserve price. There were some, though, that went for a lot more than the reserve price, and that's typically, the Bakelite and some of the Crosley stuff and the cool-looking ones, although I think what I got was cool at the auction. So it was good. So the prices are up on these radios because they're in theory, they're in good condition. But I hear you on prices being soft on the other stuff. I think it depends on where you're at and what's going on and how much work has been done. SWL 226, I will get... Shockwave checked in, and anybody else out there. Okay, it won't let me do what I want to do. Let me find the questions. And here they are, so hang on a second. Okay, here, we'll do quickly on the questions. I want to get to the radios.
SWL 13, checking in.
Oh, I got you before. Let's see if we get you. KB6GFD. Hey, I got you there, 13. I heard you earlier during the roll call, but I hear you great now, so we're getting you checked in. Over.
Well, thank you, Dennis.
KB6GFD. All right, 13 on the crossband. Heard him earlier, but live and direct. And yeah, the rental window is no longer for a while on the RCA, but I'm going to work something out. So we're back to the AKG shotgun, and I realized I forgot what kind of settings I have, so it's running through something weird, and probably sounds a little bit weird. I wasn't able to get through and check everything, but I see it's making movement on the meter, so that's a good thing. All right, here is our question. And hello, hello, Craig, MUG out in San Diego. The rumors have it that we have been getting tropospheric ducting down your way up here on the 10 and 11 meter band tonight, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, if you guys are, I don't know if you're live streaming or we're live streaming tonight, say hello to the listeners down there, and thanks for jumping in. We are, I still got to get the question. Okay, what fraction of wavelength either side of center feed results in the highest broadband gain? Okay, we're talking about antennas, I guess. So what fraction of a wavelength either side of center feed results in the highest broadside gain? So you got your feed line, your coax feed line going to the center, and then on one side of the coax, the shield in the center, you're going to have a piece of wire. Now, you might have a dipole So quarter wave, half-wave dipole. So the answers are, is it a quarter wave A? Is it a half-wave on either side B? Is it 5/8 on either side of B? Or C, rather. Or is it D, 3/4 on either side? So again, it's still working. I'm going to break this thing. I'm used to the ribbon microphone. So what fraction of a wavelength on either side of the feed of your antenna results in the highest broadside gain? A quarter wave A, a half wave B, a 5/8 wave C, or a 3/4 wave D? Now, a lot of us have built the quarter wave. In fact, that's what I've got for my 40-meter antenna. I think I know the answer to this because I was going to construct an 11-meter, a CB antenna, using one of these formulas. Because after studying some of, Sebek's stuff, I said, wow, this is good. But when I found out that it was going to be 41 feet long, the logistics were a little bit rough. And we got half wave, we've got 5/8, 1730 seconds. That must be the overseas version. When you're getting your antenna from China, it's not quite 5/8 anymore. 5/8, 1 1/8. So the answer is, and a couple of you got it right, is the 5/8. So it's 5/8 and 5/8. That's actually called an EDZ, extended double ZEP. But it makes for a very large antenna. So on 11 meters, your quarter wave, half wave dipole is 18 feet. But at 5/8, anybody have a 5/8 vertical? It's 22 feet or something, 21 something. So you're putting 5/8 on either side of your wire, and now you have a 42-foot radiating thing going on. So if you're trying to do like I did, an extended double ZEP, and you want it vertical, you've got to hang that thing 45 feet up in the air just to get it off the ground. So it makes it a little bit weird. But apparently that's your best gain, best broadside gain, and extended double ZEP with 5/8 wave on either side of whatever your frequency of choice might be. Next, let's go to quickly question 2. Well, that's the vertical. That's like an end fed, but now we're feeding it on one end and on the other end and making it into a dipole. So yeah, if you're running horizontal, no problem. You want to go vertical. Strange. And I'm surprised, really, that no manufacturer, maybe they did, has never had an extended double ZEP kind of vertical situation. But I mean, at 40 feet, you'd have to have a weird pole. Okay, number 2. In the early years of radio, when was that? In the early years of radio, it was common to state that radio waves traveled through what agent or aura? Well, that's esoteric. So in the early years of radio, when people used to speak with their hand on their ear, that'll give you a clue. What did they state? The radio waves traveled through what agent or aura? Wow, everybody's got that one. I thought for sure everybody would say, what is he talking about? But every answer is correct. So this is the old tube radio network. Real radio's glowing in the dark, beaconing at 27085 AM through the ether. Yes, indeed. So back in the day, we were, the aura, the agent was the ether. I guess it still is. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Over the air, whatever. Out of the ether and into your radio. All right, I'll be back. We're going to reconnoiter for the tube radios. Don't go away. You are indeed listening to the old tube radio network right here at 27085. Tube radio's coming up next. And then the old Tube Radio Network said,
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by
RADIO.
Tube Radio Network.
That is us, RADIO, back to the control room. All right, that's a little better. The pocket protector is ready to go. The Sears sucker suit, what did Rip Taylor used to say, I'm the sucker that bought it at Sears, is ready to go. And we are going to be listening for your classic radios. Why we have been doing this for 40 years, and yes, we have. Give you a chance to drive your radio around the block like an old car with fins and chrome. The radios from 1958 to about 1978 in the Class D Citizen Radio service with those vacuum tubes. They're not making them anymore, but on a Saturday evening, they will parade around your Universal Media Netweb, the old Tube Radio Network listening.
56.
14.
All right, I have two. Sean, don't go away. You'll be radio number 2, and you're sounding good from Sangertown. And 56, man, is it 9:20? Sometimes it just takes a while for us to get to the Tube Radio, so I applaud our radio operators for standing by, warming up the sets, and being ready to go when I come back and say, hey, what's glowing in the dark? Hello, Phil, over.
Well, good evening, Dennis. I have here for your consideration an ICO Sentinel 23, over.
ICO Sentinel 23. I am going to jump into our Rolodex, and I'm thinking in the years that we have been doing this, I might be able to flip through and find a Sentinel 23. Let's see what we got. A couple of things are coming up. Oh, this is interesting. It's a little different than I thought it might be. Go into the shot here, OTR Live. That's it. From the collection of Paul. Over to you. Tell us about this radio that I thought it reminds me of a Allied or Radio Shack. Over.
Well, it's not a Japanese clone. Made by ICO, of course. Let's see, the controllers here. We've got a band spread, we've got a squelch, and a volume, and of course, crystal-controlled tuner. One of the nice features about the radio is that it has on the squelch, when it's turned completely to the counterclockwise position, it's in a standby mode, so it's got the tube heaters on, over.
Yeah, I'm doing a zoom in there. ICO Sentinel 23, got the headphone jack, mod light, which should be blinking if it works, a band spread, which is sort of like a receive VFO, and the squelch, and I can see the little whatever it says on the bottom of that. S meter, looks like it's all 23 channels, so this would have been for ICO, top of the line radio. I was seeing if I could find a price for this, but I don't have it listed. It is 10 tubes, so that's, typically in an S meter and 23 channels, it was a more expensive radio from ICO, EICO, and I bet you know what that stands for. Over.
Something to do with a farmer and his dog, doesn't it?
Yeah, EIO, the Electronic Instrument Company, I do believe. Let me go back to the full radio. Already getting some good compliments on the modulation, and if you told me, I didn't write it down. What is the microphone that you're using? Over.
Well, this appears to be, this is the microphone that came with the radio, and it has the same appearance as I want to say a Turner hand mic. Over. Okay,
and probably, with the tube radios, typically they gave you a nice microphone, and you didn't need to put in preamplification. Some of the early radios, they didn't have clippers and circuitry, so you could get pretty loud. And then that's what made the FCC say, well, no, if you're going to do, people are putting these amplified microphones on, and they're overmodulating, and they started having the companies put in modulation limiters and clippers and things like that. But it doesn't sound like that needs it. I wanted to see what the switch was on the side. Oh, PA and CB, yeah, because typically you have a tube audio amplifier. It's got 10 tubes, 6 AQ5, 6 BQ5 for the final amp, and you've probably got a couple of watt audio amplifier. So you just plug in. I don't know if you have a jack in the back for the output for the PA, or you just use the headphone jack, but you're good to go if you want to do some public address stuff. And then the mod light. So when you're talking, is that blinking at you, and what color is it over?
Yes, when you talk, it blinks, and when I talk, it blinks. I do have an add-on switch that somebody had put next to the meter, and it is in the on position now. Stand by. And now it is in the off position. I have no idea. My meter doesn't show any different.
Oh, yeah, but it indeed does. It's I'm going to say it's some type of a range boost, because you do get louder. I've got the LKFS meter. I'll see if that shows up, and it changes the tone quality too. It's much fuller sound when you have it engaged previously. Over.
Okay, well, it's not engaged. Stand by. And now it is. Oh, I see the modulation indicator type needle moving a little better.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes the microphone sound fuller. I can still hear you either way. Puts another dB or so into the LKFS or band mod meter, but signal strength is still good. A little bit over S9 with good forward modulation. Not bad at all. We'll go back to you for transmission. I'll do the zero beat. We'll see how the crystals are holding up after 50 years. Over.
Wow, 50. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, wow. Interesting. 83.2. So you're about 2 kC low. So if somebody was on a very narrow receiver, like a Regency Imperial or something, they would probably hear you a little bit clearer were they to dial on the minus side. But like I said, I'm running about 15K wide on the AM receiver just for that reason. So if somebody's a little bit off, it would sound good. But anyway, sounds good. It's about 2 kC low on this particular channel, and I'm not sure on these if it was a synthesized or if you have a full 23 channels floating around in that radio somewhere. But it's the Sentinel 23 from ICO. This probably was their middle of the line radio, because they had the ICO Sentinel Pro, but this had the S-meter 23 channels and 10 full tubes. Sounds good. Nice audio from the standard microphonium, and yeah, whatever that mystery switch, because I definitely don't see it on my picture here. They did a good job. Over.
Well, thank you very much for letting me letting me check it in. And I've got another one warming up, so we'll get out of the air chair and be back in it in a bit or two.
All right, thanks for doing that. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark, and this is what we do. Give our radio operators a chance to jump on a radio they might have had for a long time, or maybe check something out, just, like we're doing, flipping a switch. What does this do? I don't know. Let me tell you. And we have been doing this for 40 years on Saturday evenings. Good stuff. A way to get on the air. And what I like about this, if you weren't on CB 40 years ago, or if you were and you sort of remember, I remember it kind of being like we would talk to people. Yeah, that's what happened. This is the way things were. So it's nice to have not only the old radios, but the old radio demeanor, if there was such a thing. Jingle singers are here. We'll be back in 20 seconds, and Sean, step up to the microphone. We'll be right with you. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
The radio for you, for the Old Tube Radio Network. I don't know about music, although we just had some there, and news. You kind of weren't supposed to do that on the old CB days. It was not for idle chit-chat. It was not for hobby communication. And in theory, it was more business-like, or you were talking to a unit of, KEO 8492, unit base to unit 1, go pick up a loaf of bread. But things got out of hand. But that's okay. We get out of hand here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Sean, beaconing Sanger, can you hear the Old Tube Radio Network? Over.
Tonight I am checking in for the first time, which it looks like it's working good now. For some reason it's a little finicky. It's the Hammarland HQ 105 TR. So I've got the thing dialed into the OTR, and it is a super tight receive, so I was unable to hear it, and I was not brave enough to wander down there and then come back up to here.
All right, I'll give you a little chatter because you're doing a VFO on the receive, and it took the audio's ramped up, but whatever you're doing now, it sounds very loud. And give me the model again. Was it the 105 over or the 205?
105 TR transmit receive.
Okay, I've got that. And just make a note. What's happening is the audio is ramping up. When you key the microphone, it's something's ramping up. So when you key down, or is it key up? I don't know. I think you key up the transmitter and you key down on somebody. So when you key up the transmitter, give yourself a 1, 2, and then start to talk, and you should be good to go. I've jumped the Rolex. We have found a shot of this very rare and very interesting radio from Hammarland, who, if you are an amateur radio operator, you are in tune with Hammarland and their receivers. And what Hammarland did was they found one of the receivers, and they figured they were going to jump in on the 11-meter Class D band, and this is it. So back to you. Let's see here how that's working. Over.
Okay, well, maybe it sounds a little better now when I give it a little bit of a time. The only thing I don't like is I notice it takes the meter all the way to the end when you key it up. But yeah, what a fine receiver this is for shortwave listening. I just love it. And like I said, this is the first time checking it in. And it's a radio I got from Cliff. It's in beautiful condition. And it has the amplified D104 microphone with a petrified cord. 511 up here in Tweenhard. I'll go now.
All right, and let me take a moment to say hello to 511 in Tweenhard, who may or may not be able to hear us here in the Central Valley. Tweenhard is a good 130-mile, 90-mile hop ground wave, which shouldn't be happening, but putting in a good signal. So Tweenhard, if you're listening in, it's Fresno, and Sanger jumping in here with a tube radio. So thanks for joining us.
I was just talking to Australia. Hello, Dennis. 511 Tweenhard. Bye-bye.
All right, 511 up in Tweenhard. We have some conditions open to the Pacific, and we've got the good ground wave from Tweenhard, which is typically pretty hard to do from where we're at, over almost 100 miles. Back to Sangertown, we've got the shot of the Hammarland HQ 105. It indeed is a shortwave radio. And the Hammarland, what they did was they added a 10 and sort of an 11-meter Class D 5-watt DC input transmitter right in the case of this shortwave radio. And they kept the receivers, so you can dial in your favorite broadcast AM band, all the shortwave band, and then what you have to do is go to, I guess it's 10 or 11 meters, and then try and dial in find 27085. And I wish I had the 105, but they added a couple of controls for your transmitter, and you have the one that has the clock. There are some that do not have the Telecron clock embedded in the radio, and I think if you can see the clock, is it 24 hours over?
Oops, I didn't wait. That's something I got to get used to. Yes, I do have a clock, and it was a 24-hour clock, and I leave the radio on all the time. It runs like a sewing machine. You hear it when you get up next to it, but I haven't had any problems with it. This clock, everything, the radio itself works excellent, and I am picking up a lot of skips trying to come in right now with it.
Yeah, well, that was Twainhard up near Modesto, beginning down. He's talking to. He's got a good location up there. He's talking to Australia. We're showing it with the external speaker. Now, if you didn't have the clock, you could have a speaker built in, but if you don't have, or if you do have the clock, you have to have an external speaker. So the matching cool speaker with the Hammarlund logo should be sitting next to that, right?
Negative. I do not have the factory speaker, but I have a really cool Motorola speaker, like you would have had in a dump truck back in 1970, with the original directions and the mounting bracket and everything. And a very long cord. That way I can put it in my living room right where I want it, so I can listen to it.
Nice, and those Motorola speakers are actually very nice. They've got good quality. So, like you said, you've got a nice receiver, shortwave receiver. On the back of the radio, I think they give you a SO239 for your transmit antenna, but you still have the standard, I want to call it like the 2 or 3 screw lugs to put your long wire of antenna for your short wave receiver. Thank you. Who is that last independent thinker? Thank you. Hammarlund Manufacturing Company, Mars Hill, North Carolina. Everybody listening from North Carolina, raise your hand and give your company, Hammarlund, an applause for doing such a cool radio, not being afraid to jump into the Class D 11-meter service and thinking we could do this. And we still have some of them around from the early 1960s. Production run of these radios from 1967 to 1969. Back to you, over.
Okay, I remembered to wait that time. Yeah, it's like I said, it's an amazing radio, and the thing I love is the ability to tune the antenna to whatever band you're on. And I have it on a 100-foot long wire that I soldered whatever these connectors are, because that's the odd thing about it. It has a standard CB coax connector on the back, so I made me one up for my long wire. But I drove it over here this evening to get it on the air, and I'm very curious to hear it back on the replay there.
Looking good. I moved my receive back, my RF gain back just a little bit. You're probably coming in at about an S4, S3. The modulation is good. Nice full fidelity audio, moving the meter up to about an S4. So not a super signal, but the audio is nice and loud. We'll do the 0 beat. We'll see where the frequency is on that. You're on channel 11. Oh, that was my question. I don't see a channel selector on the front of that. So are you just plugging in a crystal somewhere in the back? Or I think some of those had a little crystal port in the back that you use. But I'm just wondering how you're getting on the channel 11 transmit, over.
Yeah, roger that. It does have a very convenient little spot. You can reach in there and stick whatever crystal you want to transmit on. And like I say, you can listen to anything you want. Everything from Kino to, Radio China if you want to. So anyhow, yeah, that's what I've got. The accessible channel 11 crystals stuck in there this evening.
Yeah, see, Radio China's on right now at 40 meters at 7260, probably broadcasting at about 20 kilohertz wide. All right, I forgot to do the 0 beat. Go ahead and take a transmission, and we'll see where you're at on the frequency, over.
And hopefully on frequency.
Not bad. And were we to have the actual live, you could probably see your carrier sort of moving around when you key up. And it moves down to 27084-841. So not bad. Pretty close. Looking good. I'm going to go. Somebody asked about the clock. Let me go to the extreme. See if you can see. It's calibrated, like he mentioned, for 24 hours. So if you're a shortwave listener, of course, you would be using probably UTC, coordinated time to jump in on your shortwave. You know, when this radio came out in 1967, over 50 years ago, there were a lot of shortwave stations. There aren't as many now. There aren't as many shortwave stations, but you would set your clock probably to UTC, and you'd be good to go. And I'm sure you've got your set, and at 8 o'clock on a Saturday evening, you are ready to go with the old Tube Radio Network from Hammarlund. And just a quick thing about Hammarlund, founded by Oscar Hammarlund in New York City in 1910. The company lasted until 1973. It was among the United States' very oldest producers of radio equipment. Hammarlund first did radio component manufacturing on Fulton Street in Lower Manhattan. Hammarlund Roberts companies offered kits for AM broadcast radios using Hammarlund parts. The company opened its major manufacturing facilities in Mars Hill, North Carolina in 1951. And Hammarlund Roberts went out of business in 1931. Hammarlund Manufacturing Company entered into the shortwave receiver market with the introduction of the Coronet Pro. So they've been making receivers for a long time. Great radio, very rare. I'm glad we have a couple of them here in the Central Valley, and thanks for bringing it by over.
Yeah, thank you. And one cool thing about the clock is, you like say, you can set it at 8 o'clock, and this radio would automatically come on. So this is really cool. I don't know of any other tube radios that do that. So thank you for the time tonight for the Hammarlund HQ 105TR.
Yeah, this radio is pretty much like no other when it comes to secreting a transmitter in a true shortwave radio. And these, if you see a Hammarlund and it's an HQ 100, that's the radio. And then you've got the HQ 105TR. Thanks for bringing it by, radio number 2 on the Old Tube Radio Network, right here, Central California, 27085, Channel 11. And who is the breaking station OTR listening?
72 checking in.
72, thank you for stopping by, and remembering this is the Saturday night place to be. Radio Boy, we're putting the X in the square over.
Train wreck.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm making sure I get my check in. And I know Phyllis warming up a new radio. Back to the radio list for radio number 3. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, T-Berry Model T, 1976, the second generation 40-channel version, and I wired up an old Turner Plus 2 desk mic. I saw Wagon Master showcasing one last week on his channel, so I thought I'd wire one up to the old T-Berry here and see how it was doing. Good old T-Berry Model T.
One of the radios I remember in my early CB days, I remember the 23 channel. That would be from 1972 to 76. Of course, the FCC said, well, we're going to give you all those frequencies that you're using without crystal control and make them crystal control. And so in 1976, the T-Berry Model T went to 40 channels. I've got a nice picture of it here. Let's put it on full screen. And indeed, there it is. So you should have, if it's the 40 channel, it's the digital display readout, right?
Yeah, the good old red numbers lit up there in digital form, and hopefully I got the mic gain set okay on this Turner Plus 2 desk mic.
I think you do. Sounds like a Turner Plus 2. These radios, I believe they are a Panasonic chassis. I believe they are also plate modulated. So if you get a good transducer going in there, you can't go wrong with getting some good audio, which you have. The Model T, I'm going to go to the close-up here. Depending on the radio you had more functions. I see it's got the transmit receive light, the mod light. You got a fine-tune volume. I was looking to see if you had a mic gain, but I don't think they put a mic gain on those. Over.
It's internal, and it is adjustable. I don't think this one has been changed from the factory settings. This radio is all original. I would say it's as close to a 10 out of 10 cosmetically and internally. Original capacitors, and it looks like it's still running on the original tubes. This is the same radio I ran in high school back in the 70s, and this was gifted to me from 111, and I'm really grateful. It's a beautiful radio, so I always get excited when I come to check this one in, because this radio came from a really great gentleman, and I do my best to keep it in pristine condition.
Yeah, isn't it great for those of us who, we're on the air when these radios were new, or we hoped we could afford one, or, being in high school, junior high, our parents had one, and we got to join in on the CB stuff, and now they're still around, and they're sitting on the desk, the T-Berry Model T. And thank you again. Last independent thinker, T-Berry Electronics, manufacturer Japan, of course. The contract OEM factories, often the Cybernet-based chassis. I was reading about that, about the Uniden and the Cybernet chassis, and they were talking about who were the USA chassis makers, and E.F. Johnson was one of them, but the Cybernet that made a lot of the final 1976-77 tube radios, and this was a chassis shared by a couple of other manufacturers as well. Release area 1972 to 74. This is the 40-channel version, so it's going to be 76 probably. And the question I have, do you have to, let me go to the extreme close-up. There's a switch. I always thought this was strange. There's a switch under the meter, and it's S and RF. So in theory, if you're on RF and you unkey the microphonium, what happens to the meter if it's not on the S? Does it just sit at 0?
Until somebody transmits, it sits at 0. And when it's on S, of course, the signal's coming in on receive. But it just sits at 0 in the RF position until you key up to transmit.
Got it. I mean, a lot of the radios, some did that, but a lot of them had some type of relay that would do that for you. So I always thought it was kind of odd that you would leave it on one or the other. So I guess if you knew you were okay on the transmit, you'd leave it on S meter. But man, I'd be sitting there clicking that thing back and forth. So good stuff. And your last transmission, the prior transmission, the audio is so good. It's not overdone. You're not overmodulated at all. But we got the red and white bubblegum machine, whatever was going on driving down the road there. We could hear that coming through loud and clear. So, before you go, I'll do the 0 beat and see where you're channel 11. And I don't think it's a crystal. It's probably a synthesized, or I don't know. Could even be a PLL in there. Take a transmission.
Yeah, hopefully the old girl. Still pretty close. And I got the back window open there, letting that nice nightly breeze come through the shack here. And you'll red and blue flying down the road there, coming through the microphone. This is PLL circuitry incorporated with the good old glowing tubes. And I'm surprised that circuitry is done as well as it has with the amount of heat this radio generates.
Convection cooling, you can see we got a shot of the radio there. You can see the holes in the top. No fans needed, I guess at 5 watts. They figured the air would flow through, and tubes don't mind when it's hot. Transistors, that's a whole different ball game. And if they put it together correctly, the things that got really hot shouldn't be really real close to things that shouldn't be getting hot. 27085, I'm sorry, 484.5, so about 500 cycles. I think that's within the FCC tolerance. 23 Skidoo, hello radio. Jumping in. And Mitch saying the SRF switch was like a radio delete option on a car. It took the place of the range boost switch. It may have been due to FCC rule changes that prohibit mic gain controls on the front panel. Well, there you go. Yeah, the FCC kept adding little things like, we'll get them. We'll take that off of there. Get rid of the Q-Bird. Get rid of the mic gain. You got to put a limiter in. So they just kept hoping that they could make you behave. But we knew better than that. Sounding good on the T-Berry Model T 40-channel version, bringing back some memories for us and yourself as well. Over.
Yeah, and always a pleasure to get in there and check these old radios in. As soon as temperatures start dropping, the old Radio Lifer crew will go back to the other shack and start making videos. We've got a couple more radios lined up to put on the Lifer website and check in here on OTR, so we're looking forward to that, but that'll probably be another month or so. Got to get these temperatures to start dropping back where you're not sitting in there sweating and dying.
That's for sure. Especially you guys do a good job. If you're doing a hit and run, you might be able to do that like Dwayne in Studio B. But if you're doing some recording and you got all the radios turned on, it could get a little toasty in there for sure. So I appreciate what you do bring by. And today it's the T-Berry Model T, the 40-channel version, in production for a year or two till they got rid of the tubes and went to solid state. Sounding good and looking good. I've got the quad split up. You can see, and everybody's saying, "Wow, look at that!" 25 over S9 signal with some great forward modulation, just as what you thought would happen on a plate modulated radio. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you, and everybody have a wonderful weekend. What's left of it.
And who's the station? Try it again. Over.
56 is trying.
All right, 56. Boy, your signal is down. Let me make sure that I'm okay here. Before you key up again, just do another visual to make sure you've got all the coax switches in the right way. Over.
Yeah, let me see here.
I hear you, but I'm reluctant, even though I can hear you in the noise, I'm reluctant to have you take a long transmission, because if there's some antenna malfeasance going on, the radio might not be happy about that. But it's transmitting. The audio sounds good. The signal is about an S2 when you normally are about like 30 dB more than that. So if you get a chance to get the extra flavor out of that, come on back before we sign out. But noted that the radio is fine, the audio is fine. So I'm thinking there could be some antenna switching issues. Yeah, and then I guess the other thing would be if you're hearing me okay, if I'm where I should be on the receive side, then yeah, maybe you've got a transmitter issue where it's low power. But anyway, audio sounds good, and all of that is going on. And the 40-channel Model T was one of the last Panasonics to go to market, one of 6 models that had 40 channels. And we check in some of them occasionally. The Old Tube Radio Network is your favorite place to be. I know it's mine on a Saturday evening.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR. The Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
Station for you, you, and you. Coming up to the end of the net here, but we've got time if you've got a radio needing to get checked in, or you'd like to say hello radio before we sign out. The band is open. We've got some good ground wave. The DX is trying. Let me jump over before we take up a radio here. I wanted to see if I could get a couple of charts on DX. All right, here's one. This is the maximum usable frequency in theory at this time. Look at what's going on. We've got 6-meter openings. It's kind of spattered all over the U.S., depending on where you are. 11, 10 is open. Not much going on the West Coast, but I do see some other things happening. Let's run over to the other chart, and you can see things are starting to fade just a little bit. Because it got some good Midwest propagation going on, but not much going on the West Coast here. But I have a feeling if it's going this good this late that things may be happening in a little bit. Just have to wait for that opening, or like I do, if you've got a 10-meter capability and you can see, you don't have to even know where they're from, but if you've got a scope where you can see if there's any beacons coming between 28,200 and 28,300, you'll see the lines of the CW. That'll let you know it's open. If you've got some CW deciphering, you might be able to get the calls and find out where the band is open to where you might be. The Old Tube Radio Network, we are listening for any and all check-ins here.
60.
Hey, Joe, sounding good. Thanks for jumping into the air chair before we say goodbye this evening. I'm going to open up the Rolodex, as I'm sure I probably have some info on the radio you have. Over.
Well, Dennis, I tell you, you might guess what it is. Because it is really serious heat coming out of this race. Dennis, I'd like to check in my Robin, 123B.
They do that. That particular chassis seemed to run a little bit hot, but I haven't heard anybody say bad things that the radio blew up or all that. It just says just be careful to not touch the top of the radio. I want to say, while I'm keyed up here, hello to Dwayne and Chrissy. He says he's still waiting for the conditions. He got a lot of south, but still not very strong at 10 and 30 checking in. Thanks. Figured you guys would be here, and we had reports of the band opening up in the late evening, early morning here on the West Coast. You saw me just go through the map, and it's still a little bit shy of where we need to be to pick up you guys, but don't give up on us yet in the next 10 minutes. Joe, over to you, to what would be another Panasonic. I don't know if it would be the Cybernaut chassis or not, but this is the 23-channel version of a radio we just talked to, the T-Berry Model T. Go ahead.
Thank you much, sir, Dennis. 11 tubes, Dennis. 11 tubes. All 23 transmit and receive. Really nice. Kind of lit up on this end with a few lights. Everything looking good. We've got a volume. We've got a squelch. The squelch on this one, Dennis, pulls in and out for, I guess, yeah. Kind of makes you. I've always said this. I'll say it again. It makes you sound better. I have it cooled out. That's where you're at. That's fine tuned and RF gain. Visibly here, the old modulation light is working, and the TX light is on. Good features on this radio. But boy, this rascal right now is running about 428 degrees.
Well, get your heavy-duty aluminum foil and get the meat and potatoes and carrots and wrap it up. Start at 8 o'clock. Put it on top, and then when you check in by 10 o'clock, should be ready to eat. Here is the same chassis. We have the T-Berry Model T, and we looked across the front of the panel. And as 23 Skidoo said, the switch under the RF meter on that radio was similar. There was a switch, but it was SRF. So you'd switch between the S meter or the output on the transmitter. But he mentioned that there was a hole there, and this one has the range expand. It's got the range boost. And not only that, but it's got the fine tune and the RF gain. So for some reason, I don't know how they figured out what manufacturer was going to have what feature on the front of the radio. But the Robin had, I think, every possible feature that chassis had out to the front. Had the PA, the external speaker. So my guess, it was out of, all of those 6 radios out on the same chassis, probably one of the most expensive, but still working great, regardless of the heat. Back to you, Joe.
Yeah, Dennis, it's still working pretty good. It's also got extra channels on it. It's got a couple of switches in the front there to go to the extra channels, and I have gone through them, and there's something like 26 to start with on channel 1, and working your way up until about channel 35. But other than that, there's a few features in the back there. You got a meter adjustment, which is a good deal. And you also have your tune accessible to you. You don't have to take the radio apart. You can do it just from the back. But other than that, Dennis, doggone it, that pretty much does the old Robin 123D here. And we sure do appreciate you letting us check this one in.
We're glad you brought it by. I've got it on the list. It's a favorite of many. Dwayne and Chrissy listening in right now, so good timing on putting the green radio on the air. And Dwayne saying he was part of that DX opening last night, and if you're listening, Dennis, he said he heard the train wreck, but wasn't able to get in through all the crowd. So we're hoping maybe after the net here, the band will open up, and we'll have some fun on good old AM with our tube-style radios. The T123B seems to be sensitive to tuning, adjusting plate and load precisely may help it cool down a bit. Yeah, that's right. There is on the back of that radio, I think it's a screw adjustment where you can do the tune and load. So maybe if it's dipped perfectly, or you run it just a little bit less on the carrier, might make a difference. I don't know, but I've never had a problem hearing you. Always sounds like it's adjusted correctly, so probably it doesn't need to do much. The T123 loaded with all the options. The only other comparatively loaded radio was the Cardone Spitfire Mark II. So thanks for bringing it by tonight.
Thank you, Dennis. And also, it's got a nice feature there because it has instant on and off. We forgot to mention that. Okay, Dennis, I've got one more warmed up, and that'll do it for me.
Right, I think it had a standby switch, much like some of the shortwave receivers, where you could keep the filaments warm, but keep the plate voltage off to save the life of the tube. All right, we'll counting and mounting, but I'm going to stay here for another minute or two to make sure we get all the radios that want to check in. Thanks.
My turn.
My turn frequency sounding good. Back in the air chair. I hope you got something to eat. You sound good tonight, so it sounds like they haven't been working you in the heat. Over.
Well, I've been doing a lot of resting and a little bit of radio work. Anyway, you know what this is, so go ahead and check it in, because for some reason I'm either losing my voice, so if you can find it, let me know where it is, and this will do it for me tonight, and I'll be back next week.
Same tube time, same tube channel, and what the radio that Tarvey is talking on. Someone says, I hear a ping. Think he's on an Eagle. And you would be correct. The Golden Eagle, the first of Browning's radios, there was the Eagle to have Golden Eagle on it. So it had the What's the difference? It has the Flying Eagle. The other R27S23 doesn't have the applique on the speaker. So this was the Big Bird, the Beagle, the Bagel, the Bangle. Over.
Well, that's weird. Okay. This is the Beagle. Anyway, the S23 had a little picture of an eagle head, and so that's what they had on that. And this was the first one that said Golden Eagle.
Exactly. This is the radio before the Mark II. Someone call it the Mark I or the Mark None. Let me see. I think the dates for this, 1967, part of 1967 through part of 1968. The price for this, and put this in your $1967 calculator, and for 2026 prices, $395. The Browning Golden Eagle Series 1 had a spotlight. Some receivers have variable RF gain. Others have a 3-position switch for RF gain optional. For RF gain, there was an optional wood cabinet and an optional bass speaker. So Browning and the height of their radio stuff, right, in about this time before the imports kind of came in and made the pricing a little bit different. So good stuff. Thanks, Harvey, for bringing it by. Yeah, stay hydrated. There is something going around where you get it's like a cold. You lose your voice, and it takes a while to get it back. So go shelter in place, and we'll talk to you next week.
56. That's what I'll do. Okay, thank you much. Catch you next week. Hello, Phil.
And the fact that he's saying hello, Phil, and the fact that when you said 56, I jumped in my chair, there is some great audio and signal coming through that radio. So take a transmission, Phil, over.
Well, this time is obviously better. Let's see. Let's try the Tram TR27, over.
Yeah, nice. Big signal, nice and loud. I think this is what I heard in an S3 version that's now a lot louder. The TR27, and did you give me a letter designation after that, over?
There is no letter designation. It's just the TR27.
Wow. All right, because I've got a 27 Charlie and a 27 Echo and a TR30. Let me bring up the 27C. Maybe a little different. I'll put it up, but I have a feeling it's a similar style. Big box. I don't know, green, blue. The big meter, big speaker, over.
Well, there's the meter is not the. It's just a regular sized meter. It's not the ginormous meter that you would see on the 27 Echo or on the Titan series, but visually, the radios are very similar.
Got it. And yeah, the one I'm showing on the C it's a squarish meter. The other one was a little bit larger. There is a looks like a button, red button. This isn't the best photograph that I've got here. Some type of a spot button or something underneath the meter. Looks like you've got a tunable receive. And no, I take that back. Well, you tell me, because you're sitting in front of the radio. How are you doing the transmit and receive on that, over?
Well, it's variable tunable receive. There is a slide switch, M and X. I assume that that probably functions crystal receive instead of manual tune. This radio has that switch underneath, or the button underneath the meter is a spot meter, spot switch. It has the same controls, volume limiter, squelch, as does the Echo model. On the Echo, there's a place for an external receive crystal. On the 27 plane, there is not.
Got it. Okay, because we can see the switch meter. But that was typical. You had to save you from having to buy a lot of crystals. They would give you the variable receive. The FCC said yes, it's okay to not be crystal control on the receiver, but in the transmitter, you got to be right on. So they put the crystals in, and you would dial through those. And where is Art Bell when we need him tonight? We've got stations listening in that are being accosted by unidentified flying objects and being probed by the aliens, but yet we are still here with our 1960s technology, with the tubes glowing and having a good time. Nice audio, by the way. It's got the nice little snap, and I don't know if that's me hearing the relay through the microphone or whatever, but I can sure tell when you key that radio over.
Well, I can't hear it on my end, but yeah, when I tried to check this in earlier, I had the antenna switch in the wrong position, and it was kind of getting me a little bit confused.
Got it. Well, looking good now. We'll do a zero beat on that. This tram style of radio, 1963, 64, I think, before they came out with the Titan series. These were top-of-the-line radios. They were actually, they gave you hints and kinks on how to go in and adjust them, which was kind of strange, but top-of-the-line, price-wise, probably in the $300 to $400 range back in the early 1960s. So looking good. Have we had a tram tonight? I'm looking. No, I haven't had a tram radio coming in tonight. Got everything on there. So one more transmission. We'll see where the crystal's landing tonight.
Well, alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over.
84.5. Still looking good. It's still sounding good, which is amazing and a good thing when you consider that crystals in there might be 50 years old, more than that. Doing a good job. Tram TR27, they made a series of these, the 27C, the 27E, and the 27 planes. Thanks for bringing it by. Whatever you did, you've got it working.
Well, thank you, OTR.
And we're talking about the capacitor. I didn't hear any. You don't hear a lot of buzzing or humming on the output. So a lot of these, if they haven't had the capacitors replaced, they're coming through good. Boy, it sounds like I'm starting to get RF in my audio. I have a new situation with this microphone, and I changed some cables. That's always a bad thing to start moving stuff around before you go on the air. So I'll have a whole week to figure this stuff out. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Hey, Joe, I'm doing some counting and mounting here, so we'll get back to the paper and we'll make you Radio 7 and get you on the list. Over.
Well, thank you much, Dennis. We'll let you get back to that pencil there. For sure there. Dennis, the Mustang 2 from Metrotech. We'd like to check this one in here. Hopefully it'll tickle my buddy up there in 800 up there in Oklahoma, him and Marsha. I know he loves hearing this radio when I put it on the airwaves. Dennis, 7 tubes, 7 channels, looking at you.
Yeah, we go from the big and the bad to 23 channels to let's pull out a couple of tubes. It'll still work. You can only talk on one channel at a time, so we'll put a couple of in there, and we'll still give you the variable receive. Mustang 2, great picture. Thanks to Robert for this. It was elusive getting a good shot, and this is a perfect condition radio. 69 was in before we went on the air. So if he watches the replay, if he's listening now, it's kind of late for him to be in right now. But I know he always enjoys seeing Kenny always enjoys when these radios can get back on the air in their hometown. And here we go with the Mustang 2 from Metro Tech. Jake, a transmission.
Thank you much, Dennis. Doggone, it means a lot to me to get in there and stay in touch, keep in touch with fine gentlemen like Kenny and definitely Marsha. I love them both. Doggone it, Dennis, the old Metro Tech, volume, squelch, a few gooders on here. There are 2 switches, and it's got an excellent little speaker. This radio, for some reason or another, has excellent little ears. Because when I hear Sean talking out there in Sanger, this particular radio here, I hear him loud and clear.
Well, 2 reasons. One, that's a great receiver. You probably got a good antenna, and Sean has a great station out there. Sean is not anywhere close to all us here in central Fresno and Clovis area, but he's got he's put together a nice station out there in Sanger. Got his antennas pointed out to this part of town, so always makes a nice trip, even when, he's battling the radios a bit. So nice to know. Mustang 2 is on the list. 7 tubes, no waiting, and the microphone. Tell me about the microphone you're using again. Over.
This one, Dennis, is a stock mic, the original mic. It does run into the radio, no jack, no unplugging or unplugging. It's done neatly and in front there, so it doesn't get damaged. It is easy as the ones that have the cord coming out of the bottom. That makes it kind of tough for the cord, but this one here is like a cream color, same color as the radio. It is stock, and I don't know exactly what type. I think I heard once or twice somebody say something about a carbon mic. I don't think this is a carbon mic.
I don't think that's a carbon mic either. It'd have a little different tone to it, but it sounds good. It's got good full audio. The radio we're showing is the same configuration, hardwired in. The early radios, a lot of just to save money, did not have a mic plug and a mic jack. Probably saved, I don't know, $1. Who knows? And there weren't a plethora of amplified microphones, and the radios were sort of made not to have amplified microphones. So you've got plenty of audio. A lot of people and it's when you're watching the video, I mean, depending on how you have the color and what my system is doing, this radio has a unique color that we're seeing. I call it a cream color, but it's got more of a peach tone. I don't know if you've got a lot of light on the radio there, but would you confirm that it may be it's got a reddish tint or a peachy tint to it, or were we just imagining that?
Well, you hit it right there, Dennis. Doggone it. I keep. It stuck with me that it's a cream color, sort of like you said, maybe had like a peach tone to it. Not sure. I'll do a little investigating on it because it's a nice color and very decent color. And the microphone is the same thing, so it makes it kind of nice. Okay, Dennis, we'll get on out of here. It does have a meter. It is in a vertical position. And a nice speaker. It's about 2 by 3. Good deal on this. So we'll get on out of here. Another thing is I don't have it does have a crystal slot in the front there. I forgot to mention. But nothing yet there to put in there. Appreciate it, Dennis, and we'll be looking forward to next Saturday.
All right, thanks for that. Thanks for your radios. I just did a quick zero beat, and that radio wins. That's the radio that's closest to being on frequency to 270848 or 9. So Mustang Sally looking good from Mustang 2 manufactured in Japan, era 73 to 75 from one of these Cybernet delivered chassis. And I think those were still the Metrotech company had a lot of the mid-grade, the lower-end price-wise radios when you at that time could shell out $500 or $600 between a tram And a Browning was nice to know. You might still pick up something for around $200. So looking good. Radio number 7, Metrotech, the Mustang 2, always sounds good. Never a problem with that one. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis.
One more.
This is the one more frequency over.
Okay, this one hasn't been checked in, and I don't know how long, yet it's sitting right here on the shelf. This is the Browning Mobile Air, AC/DC type radio. It's on AC right now. It's got, well, I think, 4 channels, a volume squelch, a little modulation light that's not blinking much, I think, and then the power on light. Anyway, I haven't had this on a long time. Amplified D104, and I don't know how good the head is or the battery, but there it is.
All right, well, all of it's good. In fact, you kind of got louder as you went along. It's got a lot of loud audio. There's a little crunchiness in your microphone, key relay or something, but not pinging. So I'm assuming it's a single transceiver. Come back with another transmission. I think, like you said, I think it's warming up. Over.
There. You like the ping? Well, I haven't checked tubes or anything in a long time.
It's working, and it is. It's well, you said tube, so it's not solid state, right? And I'm looking in the Rolodex. I don't even have a picture of this radio.
There, my funny ping. This is a clone of a Vocaline ED-6 or ED something. Vocaline made it for Browning.
Okay, I think I may have. Let me see if I can get a. I was trying to get a picture of an ad, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be big. Browning presents Mobile Air CB transceiver. Wow, 159.60. So I'm going to say this probably came out in the mid-1960s. Over.
It's in Sam's book number 1. The Vocaline ED-6 and 12 and this and that and the other. So if people want a picture of it, Google it, or Sam's PhotoFact 1 will have the Vocaline in it. And basically it's got the Browning face on it, but it was made by Vocaline.
All right, got it. Yeah, it does have their logo in the front, Browning Mobile Air, and does say it was built by Vocaline. The speaker's right, big speaker in the front. That's more speaker. And you got your 3 knobs and the mic cord, no meter. And I can't tell. It looks like there's an antenna light. Is that true?
Yeah, that's either a mod light or an antenna warning light. I'll have to get book 1 out and look it up and see. If it's an antenna warning light, it's working fine. If it's a mod light, it's not working.
Interesting. Audio isn't bad. It's a little on the fuzzy side on the audio, but it's very loud. Over.
Okay, I can back off the mic a bit. I haven't adjusted this thing. It's on the top shelf, so it's hard to get to. I just decided, well, it's hooked up, so why not? Plus, I have the modulator on, so who knows what it'll do without it. In fact, 2.5 audio, swing to about 4 1/4. And with the modulator on, it does a bit better. Okay, I'll turn it back to you. I'm just about to go look for my voice.
All right, well, I'm glad you found a little bit more. I had the S meter on full, so you're about 4 S units. Yeah, you're down on the noise a little bit, but it's nice and clear, nice and clean. You put the modulator on, that's what's kind of accentuating the fuzz to the audio, but it's tuned right because it's got a good amount of forward movement on the meter, so not bad at all. Over.
Okay. I appreciate it, and I think Joe had another radio, so I'll let you go, and we'll do this again next week.
All right, the Browning Mobile Air, built by Vocaline, sounding good, and you just took the #1 spot for close to being on frequency at 27084.9, almost right on, so not a problem. Over.
How about that? Wouldn't you know? Okay, take care. We'll be out.
All right, thanks for using the voice for yet another radio that is pretty rare. You don't see or hear many of them unless, of course, you're tuning in to your favorite Saturday night place to be, the old Tube Radio Network. All right, anybody else? It's 10:30 here on the West Coast, meaning it's later than you think elsewhere. Anybody else before we jump out of here on the old Tube Radio Network? It sounds like the skip has died down a little bit, but that could be the lull before the storm. So I'll get out of here, and we'll see if we can't have what we had last night. I don't think it started on our end until 11 o'clock or something. So we're waiting for it. It was pretty big, and it could happen again. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
Current, are we good? We're good. They're saying, yeah. They're saying, get out of here. we did good. We did get on the radios tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network here at 27085, oldtuberadio.net. Doing what we do on a Saturday evening, getting the radios on the air, giving you a chance to hear and not only the radios, but sort of how we talk. Back in the day, you'd have that 5 minutes on. What was it? 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Cool stuff. Radios tonight, we had 8. I'm looking for the manufacturers. Look up, we had 2 Brownings. And maybe that was it. Browning and manufacturer. Started with an ICO, EICO, Electronic Instrument Company, I believe. ICO Sentinel 23. Phil on that one. Nice. All the radios sounding really good tonight. As always. No problems. Nothing blew up. And Phil came back with the Tram. Sounded pretty good. The Hammerlin HQ105TR. Very rare and very interesting. Hammerlin taking one of their shortwave receivers and putting a 10 and 11 meter FCC type accepted transmitter in it, but it's still allowing you to use the radio as an SWL device. Radio number 3, the T-Berry Model T from Dennis, sort of reliving his early radio experiences and then jumping into the 21st century and letting us hear what it sounded like. Cool stuff. Robin T123B. Thank you, Joe, for the classic Robin. And thanks to our listeners, whether they're live and direct or on the Universal Media Network, for your help in letting us know what these radios are about or who made them or where they're at. Hopefully you do something like this where you're at. Get on the air at night. Something like that. AMSSB. That's what we do. Browning Golden Eagle R68, T68. Thank you, Harvey, for the bagel. The Tram TR27. Phil, I'm glad you found the right connection because it's doing a good job. The Metrotech Mustang 2. Always a favorite radio, sounding good with the stock microphone. Who needs all that amplified stuff? And the Browning Mobile Air, made by Vocaline, but Browning put their name on it. Maybe it was something that would go mobile, because it was in Sam's number 1. So that's probably why. They wanted probably some type of mobile unit before they got theirs put together. Anyway, everybody have a great evening. I know it's late. It's hot where you are. It's hot where I am at. Have a great rest of the weekend. Get on the air. If you're studying for your ham radio ticket for getting a new one or upgrading, do it. The bands are still in good shape, and we'll hope to hear you on the air somewhere, sometime. 72+1 from your old Tube Radio Network.
Do you know your signal's fluctuating?
I don't know. Is there a plane going over? Am I in the flight path of the helicopter?
No. Do you have an output meter you can look at? Take a look at it, because I'm seeing it up and down, then up and down, then up and down, as if you're flicking a switch back and forth.
Well, yes, I do. As a matter of fact, we can go to the S meters from the. That's the exciter, and then. Oh yeah, okay, it is doing that.
And I thought my mobile air had a problem. Okay.
Yeah, well, see, maybe we're overheating. All right, I'll give this thing a rest.
Getting hot on you.
Get a hot toddy.
Because it's hot in here, doggone it. All right, 73, everybody have a great evening.
Thanks, Dennis, for tonight.
Thank you, Dennis.
Good show as usual, Dennis.
Was there a show going on?
Now that it's over, you can be a show off.
Off is the watchword. And we'll listen in and see if we get any skip happening. Not hearing any beacons at all.
copy, Scott, in 300 kilometers or miles. I don't know, north from Panama anyway. Thank you very much for the 59, Scott. Your signal 5 and 8 here in Catalonia, near the French border in the countryside, Scott. Tell me, is that a passenger airplane, Scott, or is it private? But still, okay, for radius or radius, aeronautical mobile, Echo Alpha 3, Alpha Kilo Papa, over.
We're en route to Lima, Peru, been a 13-minute ride, very good signal all the way from Kilo 4, Romeo.
Roger, thank you to you, Scott. Thank you for this special QSO. Thank you for your call, and have a very nice flight, Scott. 73 on the edge. Bye-bye.
I mean, I'm listening 7200. I can't transmit here because I'm not set up right, but I'm listening, so.
Hello, OTR. Hello, OTR. Wow. Roger, Kilo Alpha 6. Juliet, I made it.
Yeah, big signal. That is a big signal. I'm not set up. I have to undo some stuff. I'm going to have massive
good
RF.
Audio. Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah, I thought I would check because the last couple of nights the band has been short and long. So I know there's a delay, but like I said, I can't transmit because I'm going to have RF until I rewire some stuff here. But nice signal. You can see the S-meter there.
Roger, delay.
And you know what? You were so loud. We're probably right on the cliff. So in 1 minute, I probably won't hear you. I mean, look at my noise. Yeah, I got you just in time. Notice my noise filter's at S2. And I think we just got the tail end of the band here.
Wow, that was amazing.
And it's 7200, so we don't hear the wackiness normally going on. Yeah, I caught you just in time.
Try it a little more. All right. Good show tonight, Dennis. KA6JML.
All right, good audio. So still making it from Central California to Southern California, about probably 250 miles. What you just heard was a 250-mile reception on 40 meters. So who says the band is closed? You just got to be in the right spot in the park. Another reason to get your ham ticket.
That's right. Grab the first bench and table and go at it.
Does anyone know why Palomar called it a skipper? Did it have something to do with Gilligan and Marianne? Hey, there's Rob. Oh my God. Okay, I may have to try and see if I can get this ready to work on 40. I just heard Rob. Can you hear K9SQ, Richard?
86 GFD from K9. Yes, I heard somebody weekly.
Yeah, that's Rob out of Texas. This is not bad. I may have to try and see if I can get this set up on the antenna. All right, I'll be back. But Rob, I hear you. Nice.
Listen to SDR.
That's not an SDR. That's direct on my little antenna here.
Roger. No, I'm switching to SDR half-moon base.
All right, I'm going to unplug a few things, and maybe we'll try some.
Reception.
Yeah, maybe we'll try some 7200 here. I just have a feeling I'm going to have RF and everything. All right, so that's part of it. And I'm on the Yaesu. That's another issue. So, test radio. All right, so what is that working? All right, Rick. So I'm wondering if there's RF into everything.
In northern Utah.